All right, so today we're diving into something pretty familiar, I think, to a lot of us.
Okay.
It's this whole idea of like having it all right, but we're kind of putting a Valentine's Day spin on it.
Oh, interesting.
So we're not looking at, a research paper or anything like we usually do.
Right.
We're actually going to be dissecting a blog post
Okay.
called Beyond Roses, Love's True Colors.
Interesting. A blog post.
Yeah, and it caught my eye because of a section
Okay.
called Heart versus Hustle. Can you really have it all this Valentine's Day?
Well, yeah. I mean, who hasn't asked themselves that question at some point?
Especially around Valentine's Day,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Like,
that's
it really brings it up,
Yeah, it just highlights
this inner debate.
Yeah, exactly. This pressure to have it all, the perfect relationship, the career, your own self-care.
And that doesn't just come up on Valentine's Day.
No, not at all. It's
Yeah.
a constant struggle.
It is. So the blog uses this couple, Mia and Sam,
Okay.
to kind of illustrate how complicated this having it all idea can be. So Mia is this talented graphic designer,
Okay.
and she gets this dream job offer in New York City,
Oh, wow.
but she's only just started dating Sam.
Okay.
And taking the job would mean doing the whole long distance thing.
Ah, yeah, the classic head versus heart.
Right.
Many people, I'm sure, have come across this.
Early, a great opportunity.
Right. But at what cost?
And the blog does a good job at showing Mia's like initial confusion.
Okay.
She even wonders like, is Sam a complication at this point?
Oh, wow.
Or is he like a breath of fresh air?
Oh, okay.
I think that's something we all go through.
Yeah, definitely. It goes back to that pressure to balance everything, a good career, the relationship, and then time for ourselves.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So she doesn't just, sit there and stress.
Okay.
She talks to Sam
Okay, good.
about everything. She's feeling her dreams, her fears, the whole deal.
That's so important. Open communication. It's the foundation of any healthy relationship.
And especially with such a big decision, right?
Absolutely. A potential life-altering decision.
And, okay, get this. Sam's response is not what you'd expect at all.
Oh, really?
He tells her to take the job.
Wow. Not the typical jealous boyfriend we see so often.
It really highlights how important it is to support each other.
Definitely understanding and growth in a relationship.
I was definitely rooting for Sam.
Uh-huh.
So they decide, okay, we're going to try this long distance thing.
Right.
At first it's great, late night calls, they're doing surprise visits.
The honeymoon phase of long distance?
Goodness.
Exactly. Like when you first start dating,
Yeah.
that excitement can mask some of the harder parts of being apart.
But then the blog gets real and shows how, reality sets in.
Yeah.
Her job is demanding they don't talk as much, and they both start feeling the distance.
That's a classic pattern in long distance relationships. That initial excitement fades, and it takes more effort to stay connected.
And I think it's important to mention here that
Yeah.
studies show that couples who plan ahead and make sure to really communicate
Yes,
have a much higher chance of making it work.
they do.
And it seems like maybe Mia and Sam
Yeah.
fell into that trap.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, it's so easy to just get caught up in everything and not realize the other person is struggling,
Exactly. That's why checking in with each other is so important.
especially when you're long distance, right?
Oh, yeah, you have to be proactive, not just waiting till things get bad.
And that's what's so important about the turning point in their story.
Okay.
So Mia decides to surprise Sam with a visit.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but that's when everything kind of falls apart.
Oh, so the surprise backfired.
Yeah, sometimes surprises can be good, but sometimes they can bring up issues.
Yeah, they can shine a light on things that have been hidden.
And that's what happens here. They both realize they've been struggling, and they decide to just talk about it.
That's good. At least they didn't ignore the problems.
Yeah, they actually admit their own mistakes and say, hey, we want to make this work.
A lot of couples just hope things will fix themselves, but Mia and Sam are being much more realistic.
And this shows that open communication isn't a one-time thing. You have to keep doing it.
Especially with long distance.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just about talking. It's about taking action.
Right.
And that's exactly what they do. They make some changes to make things better.
So what did they do? I think a lot of people listening probably want to know.
Me too. We've all been there where we know something has to change,
Yeah.
but we don't know where to start.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Mia starts setting boundaries at work.
Okay.
Like she makes time for calls and dates and plans visits in advance.
So she's prioritizing the relationship.
Right, she realized her career is important, but so is Sam.
So it's all about finding that balance, right?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
not just about splitting your time. It's about making choices that are right for you.
That makes sense. And what about Sam?
Well, he focuses on supporting her from far away.
Okay, how does he do that?
He sends her care packages, plans, movie nights, and makes sure he's really present when they talk.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's about showing up for your partner, even if you can't be there physically.
And these are things anyone can do, whether they're long distance or not.
Right, it's all about putting in the effort.
And the blog post really emphasizes that having it all doesn't mean doing everything perfectly.
Yeah, that's so important. It's about choosing what's really important in each moment.
Even if you have to let go of some things or accept that you can't do everything perfectly,
It's about giving yourself permission to not be perfect.
which is kind of freeing when you think about it.
Yeah, totally. Life is messy and relationships are messy, so trying to be perfect will just make you unhappy.
So true. This has been so interesting.
Yeah.
What stands out the most to you about their story?
I think it's how resilient they are. They had problems, but they didn't give up.
Yeah.
They used it to learn and grow, both as individuals and a couple.
It's inspiring.
They changed how they communicate, they thought about their priorities, and they supported each other, even though they were far apart.
It's a great reminder that it's not just about surviving a long-distance relationship.
Right.
It's about dealing with the challenges of life and love.
And coming out stronger in the end.
Exactly. And it shows that having it all isn't something you achieve. It's a journey.
It's about constantly making choices and adjusting and compromising.
And those choices change over time, right?
Yeah, of course. What matters today might not matter tomorrow.
And that's okay. You have to be flexible. Yeah,
Right.
it's easy to get so caught up in work and life
Totally.
that you forget to actually stop and think about what's working and what's not.
Like we're all on this treadmill just going, and we forget to think if we're even going the right way.
Exactly. Mia and Sam's story is like a reminder to actually do that.
It is.
It makes you think about your own heart versus hustle situation.
Right.
Like, are you giving enough to your relationships? Or are you giving up too much for your career?
It makes you think, are you even taking care of yourself in all of this?
Yeah, these are questions everyone should ask themselves.
Definitely. And the answers might not be easy.
But that's life, right?
It is. It's all about figuring yourself out. And it's okay to change course along the way.
Like, you're allowed to change what success and happiness means to you.
Exactly. And that might look different for you than it does for anyone else.
And this blog post really hits on that.
Yeah.
It's saying, let go of what you think you should be doing and just focus on what makes you happy.
What makes you feel successful?
And remember, balance isn't about doing everything perfectly.
No, it's about making choices that fit with your values.
And sometimes that means saying no, even if it seems like a good opportunity.
It's true. Saying no can actually be really good for you.
It gives you space for things that really matter.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this heart versus hustle deep dive, what are some key takeaways you hope people will remember?
Well, definitely the importance of communication.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you're long distance or just trying to balance everything. Communication is how you build strong relationships.
It's a foundation.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you have to be willing to adapt. Life throws curveballs and relationships change. So you have to be flexible.
You have to compromise.
And don't forget to be kind to yourself.
Oh, that's important.
Let go of trying to be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's how you learn and grow.
Having it all isn't about checking things off a list. It's about enjoying the journey, even the messy parts.
I love that. This deep dive was really insightful.
Me too.
Yeah.
It made me realize I need to set better boundaries at work.
It's easy to get swept up in your career.
It is. But this blog post reminded me that relationships need attention too.
And that's a great thing to learn from this. It's not just about analyzing someone else's story.
Right.
It's about using it to look at your own life and see where you can make changes.
So before we go, we want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay.
What part of your life needs a little heart versus hustle checkup?
Ooh, good question.
Is there something you've been ignoring that you should be focusing on?
What can you do today to start making things better?
Take some time to think about it.
There's no right or wrong answer, just what feels right for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Oh,
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into heart versus hustle. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep finding that balance that makes you happy.